So what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to keep moving our way up. So we finish the feet, and you should feel strong enough that you have a grasp of adding other features if you need to the feet. So we're going to move up to the knees, and we're going to create something called a pull vector. And what that allows us to do is keep the foot stationary but bend the knee left and right. So what I'm going to do is just create a NURB sphere, something like this. And there are a lot of great scripts on the internet that will allow you to that will make custom shapes for you. What I normally do is I hold V down, V as in Victor, and I snap it to the center of the knee like that. Then I hit Control D to duplicate, and I hold V down again, and I snap it to the other knee. And then I select both, and I just move them forward, and that way I know they're both even. I want to clean this out so that if we decide to move it left or right, we can always know exactly where the translation is of our model. So I'm just going to go to Modify, Freeze Transformation, and there we go. And then you just select your pull vector and then the ankle. You just go to Constraint, Pull Vector, here. Select this pull vector and then this ankle. And then you do Constraint, Pull Vector. And then when you move this left and right, you'll see the knee bends with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this L_PV for pull vector. I'm going to copy that and just change the L to an R. The next thing I want to do is create a controller that wraps around the root. Actually, I'm going to create a master controller. So let's just go to NURBS and create a circle here. And I'm going to drag that out on my grid. And it's going to be pretty big. And I'm going to hold X down and just snap it to the center of the grid like that. Okay? And then I'm going to duplicate that, hold V, and bring it up to his root. I'm going to scale that in a little bit. It doesn't have to be that big. Something like that. Control D again, holding V. Bring it up his body and forward a little bit so that it matches the position. There we go. One more time. And again, I'm just working my way up, and then I need one more in the center here. So something like that. And then what I'm going to do is hit Control D, and then on my rotate X, let's type in, or I'm sorry, Z, let's type in 90. And I'm going to scale that down a little bit. It doesn't have to be so big. Hitting W and holding V again. I'm going to snap it to the collarbone there. Control D. Again, I'm just going to work my way down all the way to the wrist. And let's make sure that our pivot is snapped to the center. Okay. And for these guys, I'm going to hit R and scale them down just a little bit in the center there. Alright, and to save time, I'm going to select each one of these guys, hit Control D, and then hit W, move them off to the side here, and then just one by one, snap them to their position. There we go. Great, something like that. And then I'm going to uncheck Bones, Mesh, highlight all of these guys. Let's make sure we can't select our IK. There we go. And then do Modify, Freeze Transformation. Looks like, let me unselect these guys and hit G to redo. There we go. Now it's all freeze transformed. I need one more, and that would be at the base of the neck here. So I'm going to just duplicate this guy. Holding V, move it up there, and then holding V, just double checking that it's in the center of my bone. Looks like it needs to be moved a little bit forward. There we go. Alright, I'm going to freeze transformation on that. Alright, so the way you want to sort of parent these is you're going to go ahead and parent these into the body all the way down to the root, and from the root to the master controller. So let's start with this controller here, and I'm just going to hit Q so it hides my my locator, and then I select the next one. I hit P to parent. I'm going to select the one that is with the shoulder, hit P to parent. From the shoulder, I'm going to go ahead and select the one that goes to the cloud, P to parent that. Then I'm going to select the to upper spine one, P to parent that. Select the neck, and you're not going to parent into any of these guys. You're just going to go down to that spine controller, P, parent that. Again, I'm just working my way down until I get to that root. The root itself, I'm going to parent to the master controller. Each one of these guys, I'm going to parent here, including these pull vectors. So let me turn on. There we go. Parent that. Parent that. Let's double check that these guys are moving okay. Yep. Alright, let's do the same thing going this way. Okay, so if I select this guy here, he's parented. I never parented this guy down to here. So let's parent that. So now when I select this, it should select everything. Now right now these guys don't actually move my model around, they're just parented together. So what we want to do is constrain them. So starting with the wrist, I'm just going to go ahead and tear off my constraint here. I want to first select my controller and then my wrist. So let's turn joint on. And I want to first point constrain it. So make sure maintain offset is on and that all constraint axes. I'm going to hit apply. And then all I'm going to do is go through here and hit G. And you'll notice it'll show up, it'll constrain it in each one. And G is just to redo last action. And I'm just working my way around. And each corresponding circle to the bone. So this is the shoulder controller, constraining that. Again, this was my neck. And to double check it, if you click on it, you'll notice that area will turn purple. So I selected this. This is not constrained to anything. And then if you forget, you can say, okay, I have to still constrain this. Alright, and so if I move this around, you'll notice it moves his upper body. The next thing we want to do is do an Orient Constraint, and that's going to allow us to rotate the bones. Make sure maintain offset is on and all. And I'm going to go ahead and select here. Then I'm going to select the wrist, hit apply. You can see the rotations are now blue. So again, I'm just going to go through, hit G, see the blue, see them turn blue, meaning they're constrained. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test this out. I can actually rotate his hips like this, and I can work up his body for rotations. Same thing with the head. I can move that around. Alright, so that's the end of this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to create a controller like we did for the foot, for the hand.